Timmer, what's going on? Thanks for being here, buddy. Unexpected outcome, how are you doing? Thank y'all for being here on this beautiful Saturday. It's beautiful in Arkansas because it's raining and cooling us down. Welcome to the KingCast, the live podcast where we cover the latest Bethesda news. The KingCast is every Saturday at 4:30 p.m. Central, right here in the King's Corner. The King's Corner is the place for all things Bethesda, so if you love Fallout, The Elder Scrolls, and even Starfield, and you're not subscribed yet to the KingFanMan channel, hit that subscribe button for the latest in Bethesda news, lore, live streams, podcasts, and more. Now here is your host of the KingCast. He's not a fanboy, he is the KingFanMan. Welcome back to the King's Corner, the place for all things Bethesda. I am the KingFanMan, and this is the KingCast, the live podcast where we cover the latest Bethesda news. And man, are things changing at Bethesda and Xbox. I wrote in a post earlier in the chat, I don't think people understand how major this next month is going to be for Xbox and Bethesda. In fact, we may lose all but one or two studios other than Bethesda Game Studios in ZeniMax. I'm going to give you an update on id Software, an update on ZeniMax, a huge update on those two, which is crazy, and what all this means for the future of course, Fallout and the Elder Scrolls, our favorite games, which is at least what they're focusing on right now. So we've got a lot to talk about. This Xbox reset is going to be absolutely crazy. I'm going to give you an update on Fallout 76, and of course, I'm going to answer your questions in your chat because it is a subscriber-driven podcast. Before we get going, though, I do want to say thank you to, first of all you for being here on this Saturday. Thank you for spending a little bit of your weekend here in the King's Corner. Also want to thank my members and my Patreons. If it weren't for you, this show would not happen and this channel would not happen. So thank you. Also want to thank the friends of the show and just remind y'all, tomorrow is Father's Day and you may not have a present yet. You can get one a little bit late. I've got a couple of ideas for you. One, you can get them a really cool bobblehead from Royal Baubles. Go to www.royalbaubles.com. And he's got the best baubles anywhere. You can get Elvis. You can get, I was going to say Madonna. I don't know. Anyway, you can get the Fallout characters from the TV show. You can get all kinds. And then also a new friend of the show. And if you go to 80stees.com and use the code KingFanMan, you can get $10 off. And man, I love their tees. Here's one about respecting your elders. Got the one old controller and one new controller, but man, they've got everything. They've got Elvis t-shirts. I had to splurge and get me a couple of Elvis t-shirts. Elvis! But they've got everything. They've got Batman, Marvel, they've got 7-Up, they've got stuff from the 70s. But anyway, go get you a graphic t-shirt, because I know we all wear them. But put the code KingFanMan, and it helps the channel just a little bit. Thank y'all for that. And thank you to 80s Tees and Royal Baubles for being so nice to me in the past. I appreciate y'all very much. Again, welcome. We've got a lot to talk about. I will first give y'all an update on 76, and then we're going to jump into everything that's going on with Xbox and what that means for Bethesda. And really, we've got a lot to talk about, okay? So, by the way, remember the Super Chats as well. Those go to the front of the line, and they sure help the channel as well. Fallout 76, what's going on right now? Double Score, the Treasure Hunters, all that ends on Monday. And then Tuesday of next week, Meat Week starts. And I like Meat Week. I don't think I need 2 weeks of Meat Week, because it goes until July the 7th. Wow, Meat Week until July the 7th. So also remember next Thursday, the 25th, that's when you can start catching those new summer fish. And you don't have long to catch them, from the 25th to the 29th. So if you want to get the seasonal fish and the seasonal legendary fish, you've got from Thursday the 25th until Monday the 29th. I mean, you've got 1 weekend to get them, basically, is it, which is crazy. I don't know why they did it that way. But anyway, John Rush also said the next update, not the big update, but the next update that is coming, infestations, is going to be getting harder. And then the next update after that, it's probably going to get a little harder than that. He's going to slowly make it a little harder and a little harder. Then the September update for Fallout 76 is going to be, I believe, the next gen update, the pets, which is in the PTS right now, and PTS for console players. So that'll be pretty good, but it's not really any new content. And then the December update is going to be our biggest update of the year. And we also was talking about in the chat that 76 has really been slow this year. Not much content in Fallout 76 this year. So I look for that December update. They better give us a good one in December, because we've been waiting all year for something good. Okay, let's jump into what all is going on with Xbox. And I really want to slow down with this and get this good, because I really don't think people understand how big this is. I mean, it's big. Last year, there were around 10,000 layoffs. It's going to be worse this year. Xbox is totally getting restructured from the top to the bottom. In fact, now I've finally figured out why Asha Sharma has come in. She knows nothing about gaming. But that's not what her past is. If you look at her past, she worked for Meta, she worked for Instacart, and then she came over to Microsoft in the AI division. But what she has constantly done throughout her career is getting these companies that are kind of going crazy, try and throw money everywhere and get a little bit of profit, and restructuring them down into financial accountability. That's what she's been doing, and that's why she was brought in. It was kind of like I said on the Bethesda Brothers podcast. She does not know Fallout and the Elder Scrolls from the hole in the ground. You could show her the Elder Scrolls. She wouldn't be able to pick it out of a lineup. But what she can do is look at a spreadsheet and go, oh, these made billions of dollars, and these over here made a fraction of that. Why aren't y'all focused on this? So it took somebody from the outside to come in and focus on that. I think we all think that part is good. That part has been needed for a long time. And we're going to talk more about why Todd hasn't done that in the past. I don't think he wants to do that in the past. I went back from 2018 and have gotten quotes from Todd Howard telling us over and over and over why it's good to wait on these games. And I mean, we've been hearing him, but I don't think people's been listening. He wants these huge gaps in between games. But Asha says no more. So we're going to talk about what that means for Todd Howard and Bethesda Game Studios and the other studios in Bethesda. Guys, there's some bad news that I'm going to share with y'all today. Some breaking news about id Software, ZeniMax Online, even Machine Games, and Arcane Leon. Some, if not all these studios, may not even make it. Two of those studios have literally pulled all of their hiring off of the internet. In other words, you can't get a job there anymore. So what does that mean? Well, it means obviously they're not going to grow anymore, but it may mean they're about to be shut down. literally, and I'll cover that in just a minute. Craig Duncan and Louise O'Connor, both one was head of Xbox Game Studios, the other one was chief of staff at Xbox Game Studios. Both resigned last week ahead of this Xbox reset. And let's just set everything today by talking about what this Xbox reset is. What are they going to do? Well, obviously, there's mass layoffs coming within the next 100 days. There's studio closures. There's many projects that are going to be canceled. But why? Why are they doing that? They're doing that because their profits have gone to nothing. They under Phil Spencer, they spent a lot of money and didn't get much return for it at all. So they are going to cut where they can cut, and they're going to fund the big things. Now, we already know that. This is some other things that we're hearing they're going to do. They call it monetization creep, which means they are going to find more ways to generate cash inside the games. You're going to start seeing game advertising. Not only will there be in-game advertising, like you'll see a Dr. Pepper or a Burger King or whatever on the table, but they're also literally going to start putting ads themselves inside games. So they're going to find any way to monetize things. They're severely cutting the budget. They're returning to, listen, guys, we were talking about this in the chat. This is, again, I'm setting all of this up before we talk about the Elder Scrolls and Fallout, because this is so important. They're going back to pure exclusives. Do I agree with it? No. Do I like it for gaming? No. But Asha has already said, as they grow healthy, the more and more healthy they get, the more and more exclusives they're going to do. That's definitely going to affect the Elder Scrolls, and especially Fallout 5. The Elder Scrolls may not get it because they ain't healthy right now, but definitely for Fallout 5. They are trying to sell consoles. They're trying to sell Game Pass. We're also going to see things, if you are on Game Pass, we're going to see things go off of day one releases on Game Pass. That's not going to be a thing anymore. Not only Call of Duty, but their big games like the Elder Scrolls 6. If you're on basic or even the middle tier of Game Pass, you're not going to get those games day one anymore, because Game Pass has been cannibalizing their profits. So they're finding these ways to do that. And of course, they said they're committed to the next gen hardware. Okay, so all that sets up what we're about to go into with Bethesda. What have I heard this week about Bethesda? Boy, I've had my nose to the ground listening, and I've literally heard this from several sources, that if, and I'm talking about inside ZeniMax, Bethesda, the whole thing, if you're not currently working on a Fallout project or an Elder Scrolls project, you're about to be cut. You're about to either lose your job or get reallocated somewhere else. So this is definitely going to hit the other studios inside of Bethesda. It's going to hit all 4 studios of Bethesda. Now, again, some of this needs to happen, but from what I'm hearing, it sounds like they've needed to take a couple of steps forward, for the last 10 years, and they're about to jump off the cliff. I mean, they are going all in on the Elder Scrolls, Fallout, Halo, Gears of War. They're going all in. If you ain't one of those, then get out of here. I've got a story in here today that Machine Games is being shopped to PlayStation right now. There is a PlayStation executive actively trying to buy Machine Games away from Xbox and Bethesda. So again, we've got so much to cover today. Okay, let me get into the chat a little bit before we get into specific Bethesda stuff. All that was just the intro to the show. Wow, that was a big intro, wasn't it? Okay, good gravy. Thank y'all so much for being here. We've got 95 folks in the chat right now. Thank you for spending your Saturday here. And I'm not going to go all the way back on the chat. Y'all, please say it a couple of times if you really got a question you want, or send it on a super chat, because I really want to get all the questions in. Unexpected Outcome says an entire studio should not be centered around the eccentricities and ego of one man, i.e. Todd Howard. If Bethesda had produced in a timely manner, some of these cuts would not be happening. 100% true. Dalmatian says, I'm going to call you that from now on, buddy. That's why a talent revolt could be a really good thing if they transfer over really strong, skilled, and classical creatives, or we could get the last decade's worth of slop. The sad thing about this is, as much as we want the Elder Scrolls and Fallout out faster, I don't want to see projects like Doom and Indiana Jones and Wolfenstein 3. I still want these projects to come. Now, there's some of y'all that probably couldn't care less about these games, but there's some people that really love them. Obviously, it's not near as many people. It's not as much of a mainstream thing, but I hate to see these studios about to be slashed like they're about to be slashed. And I mean, they are about to be slashed hard. Marcus says Matthew Ball said they don't think ads in games will work. They're about to try anything. Bertie says, I'm so sick of ads. Unless I'm watching a live stream, YouTube has become unwatchable. Yep, sadly, it's ad after ad after ad, and it's like me. If I'm going to make anything at all, that's why I rely on super chats a lot. I would love to turn the monetization off and just rely on super chats, because it does get unwatchable with the ads, and I hate it. Redeem, I think I'm pronouncing your name right. Closing id and machine games will completely destroy Xbox. What kind of IP will Xbox have? Again, yeah, what's Game Pass going to be? Literally, they don't want to release the Elder Scrolls and Fallout on day one. They don't want to release Halo on day one. They don't even want to release Call of Duty at all on Game Pass. So what are they going to have on Game Pass? You cut all these smaller studios, these what they call niche studios. What are you going to have on Game Pass? I don't think they're fully getting all of this. Home Moving Solution says, I'm probably going to get slammed for this, but I think this is actually a good idea. Some of it, again, some of this that we're going to cover today is good. Some of it has needed to be done for a long, long time. But I think they're taking too big of a step. I think they're going too crazy. Why can you not focus on the Elder Scrolls, cut a few things that are very, very niche? And then, I mean, some of these studios, let's take id Software, for example. Every game they've ever put out has been successful. Every one. You go back to 2016, especially with the Doom 2016 and then Doom Eternal and now Doom the Dark Ages. Every one of them have made very good money. Any one of us would be happy with the profits that they made. The only problem is, again, it's not even a tenth of what Fallout makes. I'm going to go over the numbers. Let's just jump in right now. Y'all continue with your chat and your questions. I'll try to get as many as I can. Guitar and Gaming, good to see you. Good to see you. Angry Nerd, good to see y'all. Thank y'all so much for being here. Chance, good to see you. Okay. The Bethesda acquisition by Microsoft, of course, happened March 2021 for $7.5 billion. Since then, Xbox has already closed 4 studios. 4 of the 9 studios that they bought for $7.5 billion, they've already closed. They closed Arcane Austin, they closed Tango Gameworks, they closed Roundhouse Games, and they closed Alpha Dog. Now, what do we got? We've got Arcane Leon. They are, what I hear, at a severe risk to almost positively going to be closed down. id Software, they are at a severe risk, listen to me guys, of being closed down. Can y'all believe that? I can't even believe they're going to close id Software down. I can't even believe they're thinking about that. Okay, how about this one? ZeniMax Online Studios. They are at a medium to severe risk of being closed down. All ZeniMax has ever done has made them over $1 billion with ESO. We're going to go over the numbers in just a minute. But they're still thinking about closing them down. Machine Games is better off. They're at a low to medium risk of being shut down. And then Bethesda Game Studios is at no risk of being shut down. So there's 5 studios left. And after this whole thing, there could be as few as 1 or 2 left out of that $7.5 billion acquisition. That's ridiculous. That is a step too far, in my opinion. Don't y'all think? Herman Holst, I hope I pronounced his name right. He is the head of the studio business group for Sony Interactive. He is actively seeking to buy Machine Games. The only one on this list that's not at a severe risk may be sold to Sony. Machine Games. The makers of Indiana Jones, the makers of Wolfenstein. So, what's going to happen in the next 100 days? What is going to happen with these? Let's go over them one at a time. And again, we'll do Bethesda Game Studios last. But let's go over these others. Y'all pardon me while I get my notes right. Okay. As I said, the rumor is, and I'm going to go over exactly who said this and all in just a minute. There's several that are saying it, that if you're not working on a Fallout or an Elder Scrolls game, you're in danger of being laid off. This is described as a disaster, just the beginning. And there is major pressure. Y'all listen to me. There is major pressure on Todd Howard to speed up development and change the way he does things. I don't know if Todd is going to make it through this. I did a couple of videos last week. This is so true, guys. Todd Howard may not be here after July. I hate to be painting this dim picture. I love to keep it positive. I just want y'all to understand what is possible in the next 100 days. We literally could be down to 1 or 2 studios left out of the 9 that came over to Xbox from Bethesda, and have a Bethesda Game Studios that don't have Todd Howard anymore. By the way, we're going to talk about the future of Starfield in just a minute. What does this mean for Starfield getting anything more in the future? Okay, let's go one by one through these companies. Okay, Arcane Studio. I believe I told y'all last week. If I didn't, I said it in some podcast somewhere. I have heard from people that were on the ground at the Xbox showcase that actually played Blade, the new game that's supposed to be coming from Arcane. And I heard it was very, very janky. Very janky. And that Matt Booty literally pulled it from the showcase. It was supposed to be showed at the showcase. This is the main reason that Arcane is in trouble of losing their studio, because they've literally been working on this game 4 or 5 years, and it's still horrible. It's not playable. It wasn't showable. It wasn't even showable. There wasn't enough of it to show. So they are literally in severe risk of being shut down. Machine Games. I mentioned Machine Games. Now, Machine Games is interesting because this... hold on. We may have just had a problem. Y'all let me know. Okay. For some reason, the internet disconnected for a minute. We're having rain and storms, so hold on. So Wolfenstein 2 made about $110 million. Indiana Jones and the Great Circle had 5 million players, but because it was on Game Pass, it only sold about 300,000 copies. And of course, they don't tell you how much money it makes now When it's on Xbox, you really have to guess. But I'm guessing it made less than that 110 million. I'm going to again put it in perspective. Fallout 4 made $1.5 billion. So here are games that were a success, but only made about 150 million. Okay. Now, I would take that, but to Xbox, that's not enough. Again, they're whispering this, but they want a 30% profit margin on these games. And if you don't get it, then you're going to be held accountable. Again, that goes back. Why was Asha brought in? Everything that Asha has ever done, she has been very heavy-handed in making people accountable financially. That's what she changed Meta. She changed Instacart. That's exactly why she was brought in. Phil Spencer was a friend of Todd Howard. He was not heavy-handed. You've heard me say this last week. Oh, Todd, just take whatever y'all want to work on. If you want to work on Starfield, that's fine. Whatever you want to do, take your time, just cook. They were friends, and he's a gamer. Asha's not a gamer. She has come in heavy-handed and said, this is how it's going to be. And she's cutting out all the fat. And she's cutting out a lot of meat with the fat, by the way, as well. So as good as Indiana Jones was, as good as Wolfenstein is, they just don't make the amount of money. So this studio may be sold to Sony because it's not enough for Xbox. But again, I ask y'all, what is going to be on Game Pass after all this? If they cut all this, what's going to be on Game Pass? Now, I mentioned earlier, this is key, guys, because this has just happened within the last 2 days. id Software and ZeniMax Online Studios, both of them, their job listings have been cleared. In other words, they had a bunch of job listings. They have been cleared off the website. In fact, if you go trying to get a job at id Software or ZeniMax Online Studios, it will send you to the Bethesda website. There are no job listings anymore, which is very, very scary. Now, I've already gone through Doom's numbers. I'm not going to go through those numbers again. They had about 3 million players, but it only made about $1 million. Didn't make much at all. Now, ZeniMax Online Studios has had an ESO. This is wild. ESO has made about $2 billion in its lifetime. But the problem is it's getting toward its end. And it looks like they've already canceled their last project, Project Blackbird. It looks like they may not let ZeniMax do another online game, even though they've made them $2 billion. Isn't that crazy? Okay, so let's go to Bethesda Game Studios. So again, I told y'all which studios were in severe risk. So we may have to go over that again. But I know most of y'all are here for Bethesda Game Studios, so I want to get into that real quick. Okay, let me get some of these chats, and I'm so sorry. I'm so behind on the chats. Let's see. Starfield Forever says, the newest free lanes update add 100 points of interest into the game, and X-Tech is really cool. You can upgrade weapons and armor you find at level 1 to your current level. It's gotten a lot better. It's still bad, though. I actually like what they did. Surfer said all these studios had more than enough time to get their house in order. They failed. Now Asha has to do it for them. Again, but don't you think she's taking if the worst happens with these, if id Software is literally shut down, that's a step too far in my opinion. Now, yes, their games are never going to make what a Bethesda Game Studio game makes. It never has. But that just hurts for me. MD says Blade was a bad character to choose. Well, yeah, now the movie's been shut down. So Starfield Forever says I never played Dishonored or Indiana Jones. Doom, only played Doom 4. So the Elder Scrolls and Fallout universe are the only IPs I play. That is the majority of players, and that's exactly why this is happening. It honestly is not id's fault. It's not Machine Games' fault. I guess you could say it's our fault because the majority of people want to play the Elder Scrolls and Fallout. DeMarco Dude says the focus on the Elder Scrolls and Fallout worries me. Overproduced, lower quality, higher monetized, greater sanitation. Yes, they are going to. They're going to put the name Fallout and Elder Scrolls on everything. I'm telling y'all, it's going to be bad. It's going to be bad. Okay, let's get into Bethesda Game Studios. I want to look just for a minute because this is going to tell us what's going to happen with Starfield. It's going to tell you why they feel the way they feel, okay? I'm going to very quickly go over the money that the Bethesda Game Studios games have made since Oblivion. In fact, I'll tell you Morrowind too if you want to, but very quickly. Oblivion sold 9.5 million copies and made about $500 million. So that's about in line with what Doom and Machine Games and all that are doing. In fact, that's still more. It's still about 400 million more, but it's about like those games. But that was quite a ways back. Fallout 3, I believe in 2009, sold 12.5 million and made about $650 million. But of course, we know everything changed in 2011. What happened in 2011? Skyrim happened. Skyrim has a whopping 65 million, and this is close to lifetime, but I'm more going back when the game was relevant. 65 million copies, and has made over $2 billion. $2 billion with a B. Fallout 4, 30 million copies, $1.5 billion. Fallout 76 has had 25 million players and made about $1.5 billion. Now, that's pretty good, by the way, but it's taken 8 years to do it, but still, and a lot of manpower. But it's still done pretty good, $1.5 billion. Starfield, 15 million, and has made $350 million. So Starfield is the lowest producing BGS game since Morrowind. Even though it was a success, it's the lowest producing Bethesda Game Studios game since Morrowind. Morrowind made $175 million. Okay. So get that in your mind and think, what would you do going forward? Where would you put your resources going forward? Again, some of these, it took somebody from the outside. She don't know nothing about Starfield. She don't know nothing about the Elder Scrolls or Fallout. She don't know nothing about Doom. She is not a gamer. She said it. And even though she's trying to, she wore the car racing jacket at the thing, she's not playing games, and she's not going to play games. That's not what she came in for. She came in to make Xbox financially accountable. If you don't make 30%, you're not going to get to keep your job. Let me take care of the super chats here. Thank you so much for the $2 super chat, the Area Uncensored. He says, will Asha fire Todd Howard like TBS forced Ted Turner? No. But there is severe pressure on Todd Howard. And I don't know if Todd Howard stays. There is a lot of, and we're going to get to that, but Todd Howard could definitely retire after the Elder Scrolls 6. He absolutely could, because things are never going to be the same at BGS. So thank you so much for the super chat, the Area Uncensored. I appreciate that so much. Guitar and Gaming says, Lord, please let the Elder Scrolls 6 and Fallout 5 be bangers. Yes. Xbox needs it, and Bethesda needs it. 10 KingFanMan gift memberships. Thank you so much. EZENATOR. Ezenator? I am terrible with names, but thank you so much for the gifts. DeMarco Dude, you're now a member of the King's crew. Isn't that awesome? Thank y'all so much. Let's see. Let me catch up. Yeah, DeMarco Dude says she knows numbers. That's it. And that's dangerous. Yes. Jonathan says, King, do you maybe think that would be a good thing if Todd retired? Oh, man. Yes and no. And I know that's going to surprise some people that I said yes. Yes and no. Todd Howard, as I've gone on record for the last couple of weeks now, Todd Howard has done a horrific job at managing the Fallout and the Elder Scrolls franchise. I don't know if anybody could argue that. I mean, there's been 15 years since the Elder Scrolls, and there's been already 11 years since Fallout. That is totally mismanagement of those franchises. And we're going to get into why he does that. But as far as a game developer, there is a reason why the Elder Scrolls and Fallout make so much money. There is a reason why you all are here listening to me. It's not because I am anything special. It's because y'all love Bethesda games. It really is. It's why we're all here. There is something different and special about Bethesda games, and I'm going to tell you, Todd Howard is at the center of that. He is the one that turned around Bethesda Game Studios. He is the DNA of Bethesda Game Studios. So when he leaves, I'm not saying there's not other talented people that could step in and do good, but I'm telling you, you're going to lose something bigger than you can imagine. So no, I don't want Todd Howard to leave. I do want him to speed up a little bit, of course. Maybe I don't want him to be the manager anymore. Warren Royal, thank you so much for the $20 super chat. God bless you. Thank you so much. Again, that is the owner and operator and president and CEO, and how many titles can I give you, Warren, of Royal Baubles. He is a super friend of the show. Thank you so much. Y'all go get you a Father's Day present of either a bobblehead or a t-shirt, maybe both. Get you a Royal bobblehead and a t-shirt for your dad, or wives and girlfriends for your husband. That you need it. It'll be a little late coming in, but that's all right. It'll be worth it. It'll be worth it. Thank you, Warren. I appreciate it so much. I loved getting to hang out with him in West Virginia. That was so much fun. Unexpected Outcome, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. She says, I heard it costs $15,000 per employee per month to develop a game now. Multiply that by 10 years. Well, I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it at all. I mean, you got to start thinking, you've got to pay salaries for everybody. You got to pay the building costs for everybody. I mean, there's a lot of costs that go in to just having a business. Let's forget about making a game. You've got to pay the employees. You got to pay the light bill. There's a lot of money that goes into just the basics. And then, yes, to have 15 years in between Elder Scrolls game, to already have 11 years, and they've just started on another Fallout. So, yeah, it's crazy, 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 crazy to think about that. Yeah, it's super crazy. The co-founder of 3D Realms was talking on social media, and he says he was one of the first ones that put out anyway that anyone who isn't actually working on an Elder Scrolls or Fallout project will be cut from the company. And he said it's going to be worse than anybody imagines, so buckle up. If y'all want to get into a minute about projects that may be canceled, I don't know if y'all want to or not, because again, I know y'all want to talk more Elder Scrolls and Fallout. Again, that's the ones we love. But I'm afraid Blade is gone. I'm afraid that whole studio's gone. It's just, they've got to think, can we salvage the money we've been paying for this game for 5 years already. And the problem with games like Blade and games like Indiana Jones, they have licensing fee that they have to pay to Disney right off the top. So that's more money that Xbox doesn't get, that Bethesda doesn't get. So yeah, those licensed games are really tough. You look at id Software, I believe the Quake game is now going to be canceled for sure. And the problem is with id, I'm really, really worried about id, y'all, especially since they pulled all their job listings. They just finished a DLC for Doom: The Dark Ages. They had just started working on the Quake game, and I'm really afraid they're gone. Boy, I hate to say that, and I can't even imagine it. But if they were ever going to pull the trigger on them, now would be the time, because they haven't been working on a game for 5 years, right? Again, I believe Machine Games is okay. I believe Wolfenstein 3 will still be made because the Wolfenstein TV show is coming up. So they're probably going to take a gamble on that. And then we'll see about another Indiana Jones. But going back to Bethesda Game Studios, let's go to Starfield again. It was not very long ago that Todd Howard said, we're not finished with Starfield. We've still got more content coming for Starfield. But with these cuts coming, I can almost guarantee you this. Starfield is now done. Starfield is now done. Asha's not going to let them even put 10 people on Starfield from now on. Again, it made $350 million compared to $1.5 billion. So if you're not working on a Fallout or an Elder Scrolls, you're getting cut or reallocated. And I hate that. I like Starfield enough that, yes, I want another DLC. I don't think they've done enough with it. So I would really love to see them do more. I think Austin is okay for now because Fallout 76 is the only Fallout that's current, that's going. So they're definitely going to continue with that as long as the TV show's going. But Fallout 76 can't last forever, and it's not going to last forever. It's going to last probably about until the next Fallout game comes out. And then that studio maybe it get reallocated. Unless they get the green light. Unless they say, you've made enough money, go ahead and make the next Fallout online. But I'm scared for that because what they're doing to ZeniMax Online Studios, guys, is in real fear of getting closed down, and they've made them $2 billion. That's crazy. It is crazy to me to think about that. Okay, let me pick up some of these. And by the way, I'm not even talking about the studios that are outside of Bethesda and all the ones that are going to be going crazy. Jonathan says, you're special to us. If you're talking about me, God bless you. Thank you, man. You were so sweet. I appreciate that so much. Guitar and Gaming said Microsoft needs to hire TK Mantis as lead writer for the Fallout franchise. Again, I think there's some good people that could fill in some neat roles. They need to hire the KingFanMan as the idea guy. I could tell them what to do and what not to do. Good ideas about where to go with the game. Man, I would love to be the idea guy. That would be great. But there's some other of y'all that would be great idea guys and gals as well. Just for Fun says, yeah, the only thing we will miss is the bugs if Todd leaves. Surfer says Todd leaves, Tim Kaine steps in. They'll have to have but they'll have to hire a major something if and when Todd leaves. Jonathan says, do you maybe agree that Asha could save the Elder Scrolls and Fallout by getting Bethesda to release one of them every 4 years? That is the goal. You just said the goal straight out. And DeMarco, dude, we're going to get into what you were talking about with oversaturation and all that. But I don't think there would be oversaturation. That would be a Fallout game every 8 years and an Elder Scrolls game every 8 years. That's enough waiting time, don't you think? If we got a BGS game every 4 years, that means we would have to wait 8 years before we got the next. I don't think that's oversaturation. That's not doing what Assassin's Creed does. I don't think any of us want the Assassin's Creed formula for the Elder Scrolls or for Fallout. I don't want a new one every year or every 2 years. But yes, a new Bethesda Game Studios game every 4 years. Yes, absolutely. Why not? You've got 4 studios. Let me give you some, and then I'll get back to the chat. Let me give you some of Todd Howard's quotes. And by the way, most of these, well, I'm looking at it from 2023 all the way to this year. Okay, so I mean, these are pretty recent quotes. In March, Todd Howard says, "There is no rush for The Elder Scrolls 6 because our fans have the benefit of playing our older games." Now, I want you to hear these quotes and let them sink in to you. Is this Todd spinning, or is this the way Todd really feels? But just let these quotes sink in. There is no rush for The Elder Scrolls 6 because our fans have the older games. If he really feels this way, this is a man who is bad out of touch with his fan base. Bad. And you were talking to one of the biggest Bethesda fans there is. I am the KingFanMan. But that's out of touch. That is so out of touch. Speaking to Game Radar, he says, "We like to wait in between our games." To British IQ, he said, "It's good for fans to have a break from a series." In November of 2025, he said, "It is good for a world or a franchise to rest. It is good for it to sit for a while because when it comes back, it feels special again. If you put them out every 2 to 3 years, people start taking them for granted." Are we anywhere close to every 2 or 3 years? Should I remind Todd Howard that it's been 15 years since an Elder Scrolls game? It's already been 11 years since a Fallout single-player game? I don't think every 2 and 3 years is even possible, Todd. What are you talking about? In 2024, he said, "I do like to have a break between games where it isn't a +1 sequel. It needs to feel like a completely new generation, that world when you finally step back into it." A whole new generation. I think we've skipped a couple of generations from Elder Scrolls, hadn't we? What generation did Skyrim come out in 2011? I think it's a little past one generation there, Todd. I really do. 2023, he said this about the Elder Scrolls 6. "We want it to be the ultimate fantasy world simulator. And these are expectations that come with time. It takes a lot of things to do that right. It requires time, technology. It requires letting the ideas sit until they're ready." I could go on and on. I have actually 2 pages of Todd Howard quotes about why we need to take time for these games, why they need to sit, why they need to wait. Again, DeMarco, dude, I agreed with what you said, but I don't think there is ever a time that these games could be oversaturated. I could see the Fallout series getting oversaturated because we've got Fallout 76. I believe there's going to be a Fallout spinoff come out. There's also going to be Fallout 5, and there may be something else with the Fallout name on it. Now, something like that, I can see it getting oversaturated. But as far as Bethesda Game Studios games, if they just from now on work on the Elder Scrolls Fallout, again, it's going to take at the least 3 years to make a game. At the most, 5 to 6. Gosh, I hope not if they have the resources that Asha says she's going to pour into them. But again, if you just average 4 years, then it's 8 years in between Fallout games. That's plenty of time to wait. Don't you think? I think so. We got another couple of super chats. Thank you so much. And man, I got to pronounce your name right since you give me super chats. Ezenator. Can I spell it? He said, "I would like to see Fallout and the Elder Scrolls every 4 or 5 years." Yeah, again, now the way the way I believe they're about to set this up to do it. Again, I don't believe there's going to be 4 studios anymore. I believe it may go down to 3 studios or even 2 studios. You're going to keep Austin for a while, the Fallout 76 studio. You're obviously going to keep the Maryland studio. I think the mobile studio goes away. And Dallas probably gets, it probably gets broken up into Austin and Maryland. But what I think they want to do, or I think they want Bethesda Game Studios to do, is to always have 2 games working. I think they want them to have enough employees that they can have 2 games working. And I think Todd Howard would be a fantastic person to manage those 2 games. In other words, Xbox sets up the timetable of when they start. He's not telling other studios, but he is directing 2 games. I think that would be a great thing for Todd Howard to do. And the Elder Scrolls and Fallout being worked on at the same time. If that was the case, there is no reason that we shouldn't get a BGS every 4 years, and it might even shrink to 3 years. 3 years, I think, would be great. That would still put 6 years in between Fallout games and in between Elder Scrolls games. But that's what I've been calling them to do for a long time, to have dedicated studios, and Todd Howard can manage both. You could even do it. You talk about getting creators getting creatively over, doing the Elder Scrolls all the time. You might not want to do the Elder Scrolls all the time. The way I'm talking about doing it, you would actually switch. Maryland would be doing whatever the current game was. So right now it'd be the Elder Scrolls 6. When it gets time when they get that and put it out, then you swap. Then Maryland starts on the next game, which the other studio had already been working on, Fallout 5. Again, I'm not a game developer, but that makes a lot of sense as well. So there you go. All right. Gosh, I need to get to some of this. Ryan says Bethesda thinks that they are Rockstar. No. I hate for this to be a Todd Howard bashing day, because, again, I need to preface this again. I believe Todd Howard will go down after he retires as one of the best game developers there's ever been. I really believe he has earned that. I really do. He should go down in the Game Developer Hall of Fame. I mean, you look at the games that he has put out, and he deserves that. He really does. However, his management style, I disagree with wholeheartedly. The way he wants to market games, I disagree with wholeheartedly. The way he don't like to talk to the fans, and he likes surprises instead of talking to us and keeping us updated, I think is totally wrong. So there's a few things that's working against Todd, but none of it is his game development. He is uber talented when it comes to developing games, which is what he needs to be doing, in my humble opinion. Hopefully that's what Xbox is going to take out of his hands. But with all that said, again, I'm hearing major pressure is going to be put on Todd Howard. From day one that Xbox bought Bethesda, again, him and Phil Spencer, very close buddies. He was basically given the reins to do whatever he wanted, whenever he wanted. That's not going to be the case anymore. All that's getting taken out of his hands. They're also not going to be able to just put out one game at a time. They're going to have to work on 2 of these at the same time to get the development cycles down, the way we just talked about. So all of that goes against Todd's thinking. All of it goes against Todd's wants. So my question has been for over a week now since I've learned this, but I really want y'all to deal with this too and tell me what you think. Is Todd going to stay? Todd has been the boss. I mean, the boss for over 30 years now. And now he's literally getting demoted back down to game development lead. Will he stay, or will he say, I don't like it? Will he finish off the Elder Scrolls and then retire? I don't know. Only Todd knows that. Only Todd's ego knows that. We'll see. Starfield Forever says Todd just can't take criticism. That's also Emil and a lot of... when he thought releasing a vehicle in Starfield, it was a mistake not to wait to bundle it with Shattered Space rather than a free update. Todd is really loony. JD, hey, how's it going? I think the culture will change just like Bungie. It will be interesting to see how his group reacts, but I think Todd underestimates the complexity of other games like Cyberpunk from CD Projekt Red. It is definitely going to change. The culture is going to change. It already had under Xbox anyway. I want to tell y'all this is a good thing, but I'm telling y'all there's a lot of bad things that are coming with this. I know we're excited about getting Fallout and the Elder Scrolls sooner, but I'm telling you there's a lot of bad things that are coming with this. It is shaking up every studio you love, including Bethesda Game Studios. And we don't know how big it's going to be. Will Todd stay? Again, there may only be 2 studios left out of the 9 that were sold to Microsoft. It's crazy to think. Tiff, one of our members, says they have enough studios that every 4 years is possible for both IPs. I agree. And I think I would put it at 3. But man, I will absolutely give them 4 if that's what they need. MD, another member, I love those crowns. Thank y'all, members. Thank y'all so much. Says Todd lives in another world when it comes to releasing games. I will tell Todd to his face, 15 years is too much. You know, even Todd says it's too much, but then he makes all these comments that I just read. I don't understand that. I don't know if it's Todd trying to spin it and make it sound better. Like, there's a reason for these 15 years. Or if he really believes that. I really don't know. Just for fun says Todd is clueless and doesn't understand his fan base. Yes, he is very out of touch. I believe we have seen some of the reaction to Starfield. Instead of them... Okay, y'all look at what has happened with Crimson Desert. Let's take Crimson Desert for an example. Crimson Desert came out. Very good game. Was it perfect? No. It still is not perfect. It has a lot of flaws. However, what did the studio at Crimson Desert do with the criticism? They put out an update to that game literally within the first week of the game's release. Think about how we've had updates with Starfield. Think about how long we've gone with Starfield and Fallout 4 without getting things fixed. Plus, what has happened when people have criticized things about Starfield. And again, I love Starfield, but there are problems with Starfield. And when the fans talk about the problems with Starfield, what happens? You see Emil and even Todd at times almost arguing with the fans. Emil says, no, this is the greatest game we've ever made. A totally different philosophy there. I think you need to have the philosophy that the makers of Crimson Desert have, don't you? They update you. I mean, look how many times they've updated that game. I've got it on my computer. Almost every time I sit down, there's another update for Crimson Desert because they're still fixing stuff. Look at how slow the updates have been with Bethesda games. Not only have they been slow, but they've broke the game. Even Fallout 76, there are some problems with Fallout. I love Fallout 76. Y'all know I love it. But we're 8 years in. There are some of the same problems it had 8 years ago still in the blasted game. That's management, and boy, we can just only hope that that philosophy changes a little bit. Let's see. Again, another name I can't pronounce, but it says, I know people do this all the time, but seriously, I was a sophomore in college when Skyrim released. I graduated, got my MA and PhD, changed careers, bought a house, had a child. Congratulations on the PhD, by the way. This is something non-gaming for just a minute, and boy, I just lost in the chat where I was. I am considering right now, just have a personal moment for just a minute, if y'all don't mind. I'm considering going back and getting my PhD. I'm very close. In fact, I don't even have to have any classes for my PhD. All I have to do is write my doctoral thesis. But I'm thinking about doing it. So y'all just think about me, pray for me that I will make the right decision on that. It ain't going to be no more money for me. That's why I've not done it. And boy, it's going to take a lot of time. But anyway, Jonathan says, I know what you want it to happen, but do you actually think there will be a new Elder Scrolls game every 6 to 8 years after the Elder Scrolls 6? I really do, yes. Guys, but I worry, will it ever be the same? If Todd leaves, are we going to get the same kind of games that we did? I know I'm in a real preachy mood today, and y'all forgive me. Thank y'all for putting up with me. But you look at what's changed with Bethesda, and me and Joe talked about this just for a little bit in our last podcast. What did we all think when Bethesda grew from one little studio with 100 people to 4 studios? What did we all think? Yay, we're going to get the Elder Scrolls and Fallout more. But it went from getting a game every 3 to 4 years to what we've got now. We totally got the opposite. So is this necessary? Yes, 1000% it's necessary. Bethesda needs a really big kick in the rear. They need it. But are we ever going to get back to getting games like Skyrim and Fallout 4? It remains to be seen. We're going to have to see. If Todd Howard stays is a big, big thing. I really think we need him. I know there's a lot of y'all. I see y'all in my comments a lot. I know there's a lot of y'all that say, hit the road, Todd. But I think for the DNA of Bethesda, I think we need him game development-wise, not manager-wise. We got another super chat. Thank you so much. Thank you. And golly, y'all going to have to work on your names. Let's see. Solar... I'll just call you Solar. Thank you, Solar. If Emil is lead designer and writer for TES 6, he's not the lead designer. I can promise you that. That's a good thing. Expect the quality to be on par with Shattered Space, at least. Again, I'm going to take up for Emil just for a second. Emil can write great. He wrote The Dark Brotherhood in Oblivion, one of the best quest lines that's ever been in a Bethesda game. He's a great writer. It's not his writing. It's his philosophy of writing. He does not want the branching quest lines, which, by the way, that one was. He wants simple. So that's where it's bad. The good news, though, I'll give you the good news. He is not the lead designer. He's not the lead on the Elder Scrolls 6. In fact, from what I've heard, there is not a lead designer. This is the first game that don't have a lead designer. There are basically 3 that are overseeing it. They're under Todd Howard. You have Todd Howard, and then you have kind of 3 under him. And that was one of the reasons that what's-his-name left, because he didn't get that one job. And Todd said, we're not going to have one job. We're going to have 3 doing it. So, again, poor management in my mind, but I'm not a game developer. What do I know? Dow, look at that beautiful blue crown. He says, I don't think we would get what we are used to, but that may not be a bad thing. We might get better. Yeah. I know they are hiring a lot of modders right now. A lot of the people off of Fallout London has come to Bethesda Game Studios. A lot of people that were making creations, some of the good creations have come to Bethesda Game Studios. So Bethesda, yeah, Kurt Coleman, thank you. Bethesda's done a really good job in their hiring lately. So there is enough talent. And as I said before, they've got plenty as far as enough people to do 2 games at once so that we can get a game every 3 to 4 years. I don't think that's asking too much, even in today's time where they say games take longer. They did, y'all gonna hear me preach again. They did Starfield in 5 years. And by the way, that was delayed a whole year. They didn't do anything to the game other than polish it for a year. Okay. It was done a year before. It was done in 2022, but Phil Spencer came in and said, no, we're going to sit on it 1 more year. We're going to make it polished and make it the most polished, bug-free Bethesda game that's ever been released. And they did. I mean, it was very fairly not buggy. So, but it took 4 years to make, okay? And that 5th year was all polished. But that happened during a worldwide pandemic that literally shut things down for 2 years. Y'all remember how that was. It's especially shut things down for 1 year. You can at least take 1 year off there. But you go back to that FTC document. What do we always say? There's a 2-year difference between the dates and the times, and that's because of COVID. 2 years. They didn't even go into the studio for a year. They were working remotely. But not just that, it had the terrible engine upgrade. They had been bought by Microsoft, all the changes with that, and it was a new IP. And with that, they had it done in 4 years. Not counting that 5th year that it was delayed for. So you're not telling me that they cannot do a modern Elder Scrolls or Fallout game in 4 to 5 years. They can. They absolutely can. And if they're working on 2 at the same time because they have enough employees to do that, then what should that do? It should cut that time down, which is what they're pouring their resources in. I hate to say it, but that's the reason why these studios like Arcane and id and all these are getting closed and layoffs and all those things. It's so they can pay the employees to have 2 games being worked on at the same time. So yes, there should never be more than 4 years anymore between a Bethesda Game Studios game. Now again, y'all tell me, I don't think that's oversaturation at all. Because again, you still got 8 years in between Fallouts and Elder Scrolls. Okay. Gosh, I'm so far behind, but that's okay. Let's see. Load Saver Pete says the games is what excited Todd. His words. So I would doubt he would leave. Yeah, the last comment we got from Todd Howard. Y'all forgive me. It sounds like I'm losing my voice. The last comment we got from Todd Howard was that there was a time where he was thinking about retiring. Now this kind of brings us around to just get in Todd's mindset. I honestly think it was the TV show that reignited his excitement. He'd been doing the same thing for 30 years, okay? And then he got to be an executive producer on Indiana Jones. He got to be the executive producer on the TV show, and I think that excited him. I also think it excited him for future ideas about the Fallout series. The Fallout TV show did. So the last time somebody talked to him about retiring, he said, I'm excited for this game, being the Elder Scrolls 6, the next game, Fallout 5, and the next game. However, that was while he was getting to call all the shots. Everything's changed now, so we'll see. But there was a time very recently that he was thinking about retiring. So just keep that in your mind as well. Bethesda's golden age is behind us. I think Asha's wanting to bring it back like it was, wanting to get us a game every 3 to 4 years. Again, is it going to be as good as? I'm not worried about now. Is it as good? I don't have enough of my life left to keep up this time period system. And I know we have a lot of people my age, some older on here. And I know we have a lot of younger people too. But guys, when you get up my age, you can't start waiting 15 and 20 years anymore. I may not be here 20 years from now. I hope I am, but I may not be. That sounds like Todd's schedule on your PhD. Seriously, though, good luck if you pursue it. That sounds like a Todd schedule on your PhD. It definitely is. Yeah, I got my master's in 1995, somewhere in there. But I've always thought about going back and getting my. I am 2 classes short of a double master's, and I don't have any classes left for my PhD. So, yeah, I had a lot of school when I stopped. Let's see. The crazy thing is that Emil is talented. He can create good things. He worked for Looking Glass. I don't know why he needs to be so defensive. Yeah, I agree. Unexpected Outcome says, Emil thinks that all gamers are 14-year-old boys. Yes, 100%. Timber, thank you so much for the $5 European. He says, ZeniMax should split itself from Microsoft and go to someone else. Todd can use his connections to make it happen. Or James Altman. Love your videos, by the way. Thank you, brother, so much. Yeah, guys, I am really, really worried about ZeniMax, about id, even Machine Games. Again, Machine Games is getting shopped out to Sony. Psycho says, fire Emil. Make that a hashtag. I don't want anybody to lose a job, but just don't put him in charge of the writing. Again, he's a great writer, but let somebody else that will give us choice and consequence. And boy, Roy says Asian game developers still have the spark. There was somebody that, by the way, I'm not halfway through my notes, but I know I'm neglecting the chat, so I'm trying to catch up with y'all. Somebody the other day was talking about the difference in between the Asian games and the Western games, and how quick they get games out and how good they are and how long it's taking Western games to get out. Can I just say something? This is going to sound really preachy, and I'm so sorry, but we've gotten in the West very, very lazy. People don't know how to work anymore, and it seems like each generation is one, and I know I sound like an old fart now, but each generation is getting less and less and less wanting to work. It seems like that anyway. We're getting very, very lazy. Again, y'all can look it up and see the difference between how the Asian games get out their games between Western games. How many people are developing games in the East compared to in the West. It's crazy. It's almost like people in the West want to go to the studio and get a paycheck and go home. They don't care about getting the game out anymore. Khan says, it's so funny how people assume politics are the reason for all their woes in the gaming company. This is a great direction for Bethesda because Todd is trying to use outdated belief system. Yep. Let's see. Angelo. Gosh, I need my glasses on. Bring back Tim Kaine and the OG crew of Fallout 1 and 2 in New Vegas. I do need to mention this again. I believe 100%, maybe I shouldn't say 100%. I believe 99% that either Obsidian or whatever, I do think it's Obsidian, I really do, is going to get that Fallout spinoff. The Fallout spinoff that Microsoft had already greenlit, and then you got to know why. If you want to know why I believe what I believe, Microsoft had already greenlit this Fallout spinoff, and Todd Howard stepped in and said, no, I want to keep that at Bethesda. He don't want anybody else to work on Fallout or the Elder Scrolls. He is very protective of his babies. And while Phil Spencer was there, Phil Spencer said, okay, Todd, if you'll go ahead and put a small team on Fallout 5, we'll let you do that, and we'll cancel this Fallout project. I believe that's the reason that John Gonzalez was brought back to Obsidian. I believe that's the reason they hired Tim Kaine back to Obsidian, was to do a Fallout game. And now I believe Asha's going to greenlight that Fallout spinoff. So, if you're a Fallout fan, Fallout's golden era may be just about to happen, because we are going to get Fallout 3 remastered, Fallout New Vegas remastered, Fallout 5, and a Fallout spinoff of, I can't say all of those will be here before the TV show finishes its run, but they're going to try. They're going to try as hard as they can. It's just according to how many more seasons that the TV show has in it. Luke says, I think they need a shakeup, to be honest. The on-game transactions on the Elder Scrolls Online is too much. It's actually a decent game, though. Dahl says, choose your own adventure books were written better than some of Emil's. We're getting Emil again. Emil's probably not a fan of our show. The surfer says, Todd said he was making the Elder Scrolls 6 to last 20 years. Does that mean it would be 20 years till the next one? Yes. In Todd's mind, that's exactly what he was going to do. Can I mentioned this on the Bethesda Brothers podcast, but I have to give y'all this, guys. You just got to get in Todd's mind. Why did everything change so drastically when Skyrim hit? Why did we quit getting the 3 and 4 year games? Because Skyrim was such a massive, massive success that Todd Howard literally said, we're going to ride the wave of that success until it's over. Because again, if you put another Elder Scrolls on top of Skyrim, I'm not saying it completely kills Skyrim if people quit playing it, but it pretty much does. I mean, most people move on to the new one, right? When a new one comes out. They have made so much money on Skyrim after its launch. So he says, we're going to ride that wave as long as we can. Well, Fallout 4, even though it wasn't quite as much of a success, it still made $1.5 billion. And yes, I think Todd had figured out that, hey, they will keep playing our games 10 years later. So we can just slow it down. And Asha's not going to let him do that anymore. Yeah, I don't think Todd had any intention on trying to get games out every 4 or 5 years. I think he's been slowing down. Unexpected Outcome says, I think the problem that Bethesda has developed is an attitude of, oh, it's good enough, leave it. Starfield was evidence of that. Yeah. They haven't been wrong in constantly caring for Fallout 76. Just for fun says 3 years between games is valid if they made Starfield in 4 years. Yes, they did. They absolutely did. 5 years total with that polishing year, but yes, they did. All I Do says Bethesda should move to one location in West Virginia. They would save money. Let them come to Arkansas. Arkansas is one of the lowest what's it called? Anyway, we have it's things are very cheap here, but West Virginia is too. Yes. And by the way, I want to say this again. The West Virginia people are as nice as Arkansas people. If you want to go somewhere and have nice people, and talk to nice people. And I mean, everywhere. I don't care if you go in a gas station, a grocery store, there are just super nice people. I had somebody give me a lemonade because I didn't have cash. They didn't take credit card, and the girl gave me a lemonade. I mean, things like that. It's just crazy. West Virginia and Arkansas are two, and I'm sure there's other states out there that are like that. But y'all need to visit West Virginia and Arkansas. I'm telling you, the people are fantastic in both states. But then they go on to say that would save money. Couple that with only Fallout and the Elder Scrolls and Fire and a Meal. Buddy, that's pure profit. Let's see. I thought he announced on stage E3 at 2018 about the Elder Scrolls 6 and Fallout 5. No, on that stage, we saw the little trailer for the Elder Scrolls 6. And again, that was just to let us know that, that they were still going to work on it after Starfield and Fallout 76. You don't sound like an old fart. You're right. Thank you. Surfer says Asian games are all P2W microtransaction nightmares. That may be true. I don't play them, so that may be true. Lazier and higher pay. That's the people in the West. Yes. Every generation since World War II is lazier and lazier, and I agree 100%. Yes, definitely Microsoft forced Obsidian to do the Fallout. Yes, 100%. Okay, I'll catch up more with the chat in a minute. I've been talking to the chat for quite a while. I do want to remind you, I know this is quite a ways down the road, but there is something coming up this year that we have a possibility of a surprise. I think they've been holding on a surprise, and if Bethesda is ever going to surprise us with a Fallout 3 remaster or even a Elder Scrolls 6 trailer, it might be this. So just keep this date in your mind, kind of click it there. November the 15th is when Xbox is celebrating their 25th anniversary. Bethesda is going to be celebrating their 40th, and Blizzard is going to be celebrating their 35th. They haven't officially announced anything. In fact, Matt Booty says, nothing I can share yet, nothing I can talk about, but it is a big year for us. And then he talks about all the anniversaries. So, I think there'll probably be some announcements about Helix then, because Helix, they're really pushing Helix to come out next year. We could honestly get a Fallout 3 shadow drop. We could get a Elder Scrolls 6 trailer. Let's talk about the Elder Scrolls 6 for just a minute, though. I know a lot of y'all come here to talk about it. I do want to update you on what people are saying. And I again want to remind you, I'm not an insider, even though, yes, I know people at Bethesda. Yes, I talk to people at Bethesda and I talk to people around. I still wouldn't consider myself an insider. I don't have any source that's feeding me information. You've got people like Juiced and Jez Gordon and some of these that are now talking about the Elder Scrolls 6. I'm hearing this rumbling more and more that the Elder Scrolls 6 was set to come out in 2028, but now they think they're going to have to push it to 2029. Guys, I hate to be preachy. If that's the case, I think Todd Howard has a lot of explaining to do. Why? Why would it take that long? 2028. Let's see if I can get this back. Okay, reconnected. I'm so sorry about that. It must be storming outside because it never does this. Never does this at all. But anyway, maybe this is the reason that Todd Howard is going to be put under so much pressure. Again, Asha can look at the numbers just like I do. All I'm doing is looking at the numbers. When you get a game that's made in 4 or 5 years under a worldwide pandemic, and then you turn around and you're going to take 2 to 3 years longer than that for the next one, there's no excuse. So yeah, I don't know if Todd stays through this at all. Thank you so much for the $5 European, and your name is, golly, something nationalists, Anglo nationalists. I think I got that right. Can I go to Arkansas or West Virginia because I don't like my country anymore? You are so welcome here.
Your audio just left.
Yeah, I know. It's going in and out. I think it came back in. Y'all let me know if my audio is back in. I don't know why I keep losing things. I think it's storming outside is the reason. But hey, we're almost out of time, and I know I didn't keep up with the chat. Y'all forgive me. It's because there was so many in here and so many chat. Anglo nationalists, I got it. Yay. Yes, you're absolutely welcome in Arkansas anytime. We would love to have you. That's one of the things I love about this place. It's certainly not the summer times because, boy, it's hot in the summertime. Yeah, we got about 5 minutes left. If you have any questions, I'm going to go to the bottom of the chat and I'm going to start over. So if you have a big question that you haven't gotten answered, please let me know. Warren says, "Oh my gosh, PhD, that's amazing, King. Thank you. Yes, I would love to get that done." I had to refresh to sync the audio. Good now. Yeah, I don't know why it's going. I have never had this happen, but the weather outside is very, very bad. So it's very, very bad. No, thank you, Anglo nationalists. Thank you so much for the super chat. Those super chats mean the world to me. Thank you, everybody, and for your support today, for being here, for spending your weekend just a little bit here in the King's Corner. I hope you got something out of this. I always have fun hanging out with you. Gentugo says, "I want my PhD." Boy, it's a lot of school. And, my daddy, I don't know if any of y'all know, since if you're still here, you're probably a diehard. My PhD, my master's, like I said, I've almost got a double master's. I have a master's in theology, and I have a bachelor in Greek and Hebrew. But I have enough schooling that I could be a doctor, like medical doctor, if I wanted to. And if you are a missionary Baptist, which I am, preacher, which is what I do, you don't make much money. So my daddy used to make fun of me. He said, you go for all them high paying jobs, because the only two things I've ever done in my life, I was a police officer and a preacher. So I hit the very low end of the money scale. So y'all keep the support that y'all give to me literally helps my family pay the bills. That's why I do what I do. That's why I do this. So I appreciate y'all being here, and I love hanging out with y'all. I hope you get something from my commentary and my news. I hope I got you up to date on what's going on. We better hang on to something, guys, because this month is going to be really tough. Fang says, "No questions, just much love, man." Thank you. He says, "Happy Pride, y'all, and stay safe. I just want the Elder Scrolls 6. I was 11 when it came out." Oh, man. You sound about like my son. I bet you're my son's age. Gentugo says, "I want to get a master's in theology, and I want to learn Greek and Hebrew." Anglo Nationalist says, "Big supporter of Fallout." But yes, I am too. Psycho says, "Have a groovy weekend." Thank you so much. Police officer and preacher, interesting. It says, "I would make a good Fallout character." It would make a good Fallout character, wouldn't it? Absolutely. God bless, King. Thank you, True Liberty. I appreciate that. Another 10 memberships. Thank you so much. Man, you have supported so much today. Thank you. I appreciate that so much. And I can't even pronounce your name. It's Ezenator. Ezenator. Y'all forgive me, but a lot of y'all got some free memberships today. Thank you so much for all of those. You're 26 now. Yeah, my son just turned 26. His 26th birthday was this month, so that's neat. That's neat. Well, guys, I hope y'all have an amazing rest of y'all's weekend. I hope it's great. I hope it's a little bit cooler where you are, even though our broadcast today was broke up just a little bit. I'll take it because it's raining and it's a little bit nicer. But thank y'all so much for spending your Saturday with me. God bless y'all. Thank you for your support. Remember to go buy a t-shirt or a bobblehead for your dad, for your boyfriend, for whoever it is, because Father's Day is tomorrow. You can get graphic tees from 80s Tees. Just put KingFanMan in, and that helps the channel too. So y'all go buy a t-shirt for me, please. Bye, everybody. God bless y'all. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you, Unexpected Outcome.